All right. Well, sir, wake up. You ready?
Yep, here we are.
It's been a week. We have both had some interesting weeks this week. We're both a bit crispy. It's hump day.
Yeah.
We're feeling good, but we're tired, man.
Yeah.
But it's January 2022, first pour of the new year, and I think that we decided to go on a slightly different turn because probably anybody getting into whiskey and getting into bourbon has heard of one specific brand. Whether they've had it or not, I don't know, but I think everybody's familiar with the Wild Turkey brand.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, we even if you haven't drank a ton of bourbon, you've probably at least had experience with Wild Turkey. Now, don't get that mixed. I mean, I think early on, when people say like Wild Turkey 101, you're like, oh my God, that used to be the that's how you get wrecked.
Yeah.
Now we realize 101 is really not that strong.
No, it's not.
And actually, Wild Turkey is delicious.
Yeah.
But now this isn't Wild Turkey per se of what we're sending you this month, but certainly forged in the history of Wild Turkey is one single name, and that is Russell. So Jimmy and Eddie Russell have been the master distillers for Wild Turkey for combined over 100 years.
Which is crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a ridiculous heritage family kind of, I don't know, just what a cool family history.
Father-son.
Yeah, father-son. And so after the father retired, the son continued as master distiller, kind of did an offshoot brand, naming it after his father, and therefore after himself.
Family name.
Yeah, Russell's Reserve. And there are a couple different guys out there. There is the Russell's Reserve 10-year. There is the Russell's Reserve, there's a six-year rye. And then there is also what is just the single barrel.
Well, there's a 17-year too.
Yeah, you're never going to find that.
No.
So, and they don't. It's not even on the website. You know what I mean? So it's like that is.
There's a 17-year unicorn out there. So.
Yeah, but the Russell Reserve 10 years is an interesting one because one of the things that we always said that we wanted to do, especially for the society members, is find that value piece. What is something that you can probably find? What is something that is worthwhile? What is something that is also tasty? And this one fits the bill. It's been a long time since I had Russell's Reserve 10-year. I've had a bottle in here for a long time, but I found a few bottles that I thought was fair, so I picked them up and said, I think it's a good way to kick it off. We revisited it, and I started just kind of doing some research. This is like one of the most quintessential ways of describing a bourbon ever. So it is a 75% corn, 13% rye. So decent percent rye. Cut to 90%. By the way, fun fact, all Wild Turkey, one mash bill.
Yeah, which I found fascinating.
Yeah, no matter what it is. Kentucky Spirit, Rare Breed, Turkey 101, these Russell's Reserves, all one mash bill. Same mash bill, aged different ways, different chars, all that kind of stuff. But this guy, number 4 alligator char, that is the absolute highest level char in New White America oak barrels for whiskey making. I don't know if I ever mentioned this. Do you know why they call it an alligator char?
I do not.
So if you've ever had a really hot campfire, and when the wood starts to really, really get charred and whatever, and it finishes off, and you get that, it gets those almost square, they burn it to the point where it looks like the back of an alligator.
Wow.
Right? You know, so it's called an alligator char.
Okay. There you go.
So you're getting so this is like where you get, and I know this sounds repetitive sometimes, but it's vanilla, it's caramel. I think the heaviness of the char gives it, once you start getting into, you get the oak, of course, but then once you get into the flavor profile, you get a sweetness of a toasted marshmallow. You get some leather. Of course, the vanilla and the oak come through. The rye spice and tobacco start to take over on the finish. There's definitely, we talked about this, and I read about this, and then we discussed it, and we tried them side by side. And you guys know there's another 10-year famed bourbon that we sent you that this is a good comparison for by price point and by everything else, and that is
Eagle Rare.
Eagle Rare. So as opposed to Eagle Rare, I think the rye spice comes out a little bit more on this guy. There's a bit more of ethanol. Yeah. We kept describing it as like it seems hotter, but it's a bit spicier.
Yeah, it's not hotter, but I was describing it like that for sure. But I think you're right. It's a little bit more spicier.
Yeah, it's got some spice, and then unlike Eagle Rare, and something that I think is a plus. I love Eagle Rare. We had them side by side, and
absolutely.
There's a different mouthfeel. It finishes differently on the Eagle Rare, but this has a bit more cherry on the finish than Eagle Rare does, and we usually love the cherry. So,
absolutely.
Look, this guy is one again that you can find in a lot of places. Believe it or not. I found some bottles at a good price at even my local CVS. You know what I mean? So like, this is not the you have to go search high and low bottle, but it's a 10-year, mild, pretty well balanced, full body bourbon that you can. The spice though, the one thing about this guy versus an Eagle Rare is such a heavy bodied, round feeling like bourbon. Not a great mixing bourbon. This guy would make an incredible Boulevardier or an incredible Manhattan because it's got a higher spice content to it. So again, for under $40, you can find a 10-year-old storied bourbon that's great for cocktails. It's great on its own. Just a pretty interesting aspect of Turkey.
Well, I feel like you're right. It's available everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more readily available than Eagle Rare for sure.
Well, yeah, definitely not allocated.
Yeah.
This guy's not going to be allocated like Eagle Rare is. There's not going to be a limit one. There's not going to be mad dashes for it. And all because the really thing that drives all of that is not necessarily, I mean, look, that taste gets certain people interested. But then people, once it's just told that you should have it, everybody wants to go get it.
Sure.
And Russell's is just one of those batches that there's plenty of it. You don't have to worry about trying to find it. So a really cool kind of finish on that. Warm finish. I think I did think it got a little thin.
It was a little thin on the finish.
Yeah. I think on the finish you'll see that you're getting the spices, toasted marshmallow. You get some tobacco, but it is thin. It finishes quickly. Doesn't linger in the mouth.
But it's an easy drinker.
It's a super easy drinker.
It's an easy drinker, and sometimes that kind of thin finish can cause you to drink a little bit more than you probably should.
Yeah, this is a dangerous dark bourbon.
Yeah. But it's a 10-year bourbon for under $40. And I mean, I think that's a selling point within itself. I mean, 10 years, under $40. I really enjoyed the cherry flavor in it.
And Jimmy Russell, the longest running bourbon maker, master distiller in America.
Yeah.
Like he is distilled bourbon for longer
than anyone. And it's just a cool story about a son who pays homage to his father by basically creating this, and
his own label. Yeah.
It's his own label, but yet it's a similar mash bill, but with some probably little tweaks that he brought to the table based upon years of experience of watching his father, and then adding a little bit of his own flavor to it, and paying homage to his dad.
I just came back.
Pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I just came back from another sip after Eagle Rare, and I like it even better. Like, that I think maybe even some of that ethanol is kind of burned off a little bit, and nice and easy. Good cherry finish. It doesn't cherry. I didn't read cherry anywhere.
I didn't either, but I got it.
I get it. Yeah.
I definitely got, and I don't know. I mean, it tasted cherry sweetness to me, which we usually pick up on.
Yeah. So listen, guys. Interesting introduction into wild turkey. But now that you know you like this, if you like this, and you like the mash bill, you like all wild turkey. At least you know that you potentially like those wild turkeys, and you can try the different turkeys and find potentially, like, whether it's age, whether it's char level, whatever it is, of something that you like about that. Now you've got a whole repertoire of things to go try because you like the mash bill. So
it honestly made me want to go get a bottle of wild turkey.
Just straight wild turkey.
Just straight wild turkey, 101, old school, just so I could try it again because it's been so long since I've actually had it.
So I like to be nostalgic always with my whiskey. Yeah. And of course, this is this is 1971 wild turkey, straight up 8-year decanter. So the whiskey actually came in that. There was a top on that. You can see the cork. But this guy, I grew up my entire life with this in my grandfather's kitchen.
As a rare piece.
Yeah, well, it's not. I mean, they're available, but this one is for me because it was my grandfather's. I remember sitting on the side table at the kitchen table on the farm in Missouri, and being able to look out to the backyard and see the deer and see the chicken coop, and this sat there my entire life. And so when I went back out there after my grandparents had passed and viewed the farm, it was the one thing I wanted.
Yeah.
So for me, it's kind of cool because it's the first turkey we've poured of any kind for any of our clubs.
Yeah.
But he needed to be along for the ride for this. So for me, it's just kind of cool. And I love how the color, like, there's a lot of ruby color in this guy that just looks awesome against the turkey. So, part of this is just, all whiskey is a story.
Yeah.
Whether it's the history of the distillery or the distiller or why they called it this or why they decided to go with that. I like to think that all whiskey makers and drinkers are kind of romantics.
And storytellers.
Yeah, and storytellers. So for me, it's not a mistake that Mr. Turkey got a chance to sit atop the barrel for this pour. But I hope you enjoy your pour as much as I kind of enjoyed actually the last 3 minutes talking about it.
Absolutely. Well, it's a cool story, and I'm glad you got to share it with everybody.
Yeah.
And let us know. Go out there, or obviously you're getting some of this, so give it a try and let us know in the comments what you think about it, and if it's something that you're interested in, and we see the comments, and we'll look and research and try maybe some other kinds of wild turkey products. Yeah,
we've got some. We've got some stuff we could go into, but. Like I said,
the rare breed and the rye and
10-year straightforward wild turkey master distillers partnering for their own family label. So give it a try. Hope you enjoy it. Use your wheel. See what kind of flavors you pull out of it. Just because we say it's a straightforward, this is about as bourbon gets kind of thing, doesn't mean you won't pick something up that we didn't. So have fun with it. Enjoy. Yeah. It's great to be back and see you in the new year. Yeah, stay safe out there. And cheers to you both.
Cheers.
I'll be both. Like, we have more than 2 people watching.
I don't know. Maybe not. But for both of you out there and everybody else that maybe tags in later, cheers.
I don't even know what I said. All right.